Welcome, everyone. This is workshop number four. Yes, number four of the monthly Mystic Hearts workshop. So, thank you, everyone, for joining, and those of you who signed up for the recording, and those of you who find this on YouTube. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Today, we are going to be focusing on cycles, particularly fear cycles. So, I'll talk about that more once I've set up a safe space. But yeah, there might be some topics that are slightly sensitive when we're talking about fear cycles because they run parallel to trauma and things like that. So if there's anything that feels uncomfortable, please don't feel like you have to stay on the call. You can drop out. I won't find it rude. Just, trust yourself and know what feels good and what doesn't for you. And as with these topics of conversation, when we go into quantum energy healing and the esoteric world, there may or may not be opinions or mindsets that you agree with, and that's totally fine. I always encourage each individual person to have their own opinion from their own experience, and it's super important that you trust and follow whatever feels the most truthful to you, because we are all a part of the same web of life, but we are all having our own individual and unique experience. So we can all believe in the one same truth, but it can look completely different from person to person. So some things that I might say, you might feel like, I don't know about that. And that's totally okay. And the same for you and I. I want you to know that this is just like a free world and we can believe in whatever feels the best and most sovereign in our own hearts. Okay, it's not like Chloe says this, so that must be true. That's not the case at all. So we're going to set up a safe space. I would invite you to close your eyes. And again, whether or not you're here live or if you're watching the recording, if there is some words or experiences that you're just like, I have no idea what's going on, what I would advise is if I say the word energy, just think of light, like think of lighting a candle, which I'll do now actually, before we set up a safe space. Lighting a candle. So literally seeing light. So if you hear the word energy or beam or spark, think of it like a candle flame or a ray of sunshine or something like that. Because sometimes the unseen realms can be a bit confusing to actually know what it's talking about because it's something that we have to experience, right? So hopefully that helps. You can just imagine beams of light. That's what I do, and it works for me. So closing down your eyes, and if you are sitting somewhere where you can get your feet on the ground, or otherwise, if you're in a comfortable meditation position, that's fine also. But having our feet on the ground will help us to stay grounded into the earth, which is what we want to do when we set up a safe space. Taking some deep breaths. When you breathe in through your nose, really try and feel not only your belly, but your heart and your lungs and your chest expand. We're beginning to bring awareness into the heart. And let out a big sigh, releasing anything that feels heavy, any worry, stress, doubt, anxieties. Inhaling, breathing in love, exhaling, breathing out anything that isn't love, anything that doesn't serve love. One more time, breathing in deeply, exhaling into a more relaxed state. And bringing awareness to the center of our chests. Here lies a very powerful orb or ball or spiral of light that is like each of our North Stars. Our heart is what is guiding us in our lives. Sometimes we ignore it, but it's never going to stop guiding us. Our heart being our North Star. So from the North Star of our hearts, we're going to send up a spark of light all the way up through the crown of our heads, and we want to send it all the way up into the highest vibrational frequency of everything, of source, the one true source. However you choose to resonate with that. Maybe that's the universe beyond the universe, God, creation. You can choose the word, but we're connecting into that highest source of divine love so that we can open ourselves up to receive greater wisdom, and breathing in that love and those golden codes from the one true source, breathing them down into your heart and allowing yourself to be filled with this light and these codes of activation. And now from the North Star of your heart, sending down a beam of light all the way down through our bodies and out through the base of our spine, almost sending down this anchor all the way down through the ground, reaching into the very core, the very heart of the earth, so that we can almost feel this pulling sensation down from our body, rooting us firmly and strongly into the earth. So we stay grounded, strong and sovereign here in this physical realm, whilst we also have this incredible connection to higher states of consciousness from the one true source above. You may want to send some love and some gratitude to Mother Earth if that feels good. And maybe you can feel ripples of energy coming back from her. And then bringing your awareness back into the center of your heart, back to your North Star. And now we're going to send out beams of light from the North Star in our heart, sending out these huge golden beams of light all the way around us, completely surrounding our physical body, about 2 meters out around us. So we are encased in this golden sphere of glistening, sparkling light. This is an energy shield which protects our physical bodies and our aura. And we're setting the intention that throughout this session and however long you choose to keep this shield of light around you, that only beings and energies and entities that are of our highest good, our love and our compassion can see us or access us in this space, and all other beings, energies and entities must leave immediately. So if you already have some guides or angels or spirits that you work with, feel free to invite them into this space with you now. You may just say, I invite in my guides, those known and unknown. That's perfect. If you have any kind, loving ancestors, animal guides or animal spirits, gods, goddesses, if you work with any angels, feel free to invite them in, inviting in our higher selves, the divine love from one true source, and the loving energies from Mother Earth. And we set the intention for each of us with this golden bubble and with our guides for protection, healing, clearing, guidance, love, compassion, and receiving of any messages that will serve us at this time. And through time and space, I'm going to expand this golden light so that it's now surrounding all of us and any soul who participates in the recording of this session, so that we are now all protected together in this space. The session is protected, inviting all of our guides in, and again setting the intention that it's only the beings who we invite in and who have our highest good, our love and compassion, can enter through this golden bubble. All other beings, energies and entities will be deterred and must leave immediately. Making sure all of our guides have entered into this golden session bubble, so we're all nice and cozy and protected in here together. And bringing your hands together at your heart center. And so the safe space is set up. Take a breath in. As you exhale, gently bow your head to your hands. Namaste. Just taking your time to come back up. Sometimes it can feel like you're waking up from a really long nap when you open your eyes up after that. Just taking your time. You don't even have to open your eyes yet if you don't want to, because I'll be talking a little bit about the session today, and you can just feel free to drop in any way that feels good for you. So today we're going to be just very briefly dipping our toes into the concept of fear cycles, because it is quite a deep and in-depth topic. And for those of you that follow me on social media, you may or may not have seen me talking about this quite a bit recently, these fear cycles. They could be compared to cycles of trauma, but for me it's something different. It's these cycles that we get stuck in life that have repeated themselves due to an event that's happened, but it could be something like a big traumatic event, or it could be something really silly as remembering our mum saying that we looked fat once, seemingly small, or something much bigger than that. And it causes this ripple effect. And we want to ideally come into a state of love and harmony. I think when we all connect in with our heart and our true sense of self, it's safe to say that all beings here want to connect into love, because when we feel that love, we remember that we're all connected, and that's our true essence. And there's nothing wrong with a bit of darkness and finding that balance between darkness and light, but that is all encompassed in love. But the problem is, when we're stuck in a cycle of fear, that's stopping us from being in love, because I say that fear is the opposite to love. There's things around fear like shame and guilt and all of those really kind of sticky, dense energies which all come along with the fear cycle. And why I call them fear cycles is because they can be broken free from. And if we think of other cycles like the cycles of the seasons, natural cycles, they're always shifting and changing. So fear cycles also have the ability to shift and change, but we have to take that first step to recognize them within ourselves. And I'm not going to go into too much depth talking about myself, because this is about you here, but just to put it into perspective, a fear cycle that I realized recently and broke out of was something to do with love and relationships. I recently found myself very, very stuck after about 3 years of feeling like I'm putting everything into my life and my business and my self-development. Why is it feel like I'm on a hamster wheel, not going anywhere, not going anywhere? However, I had for quite a long time been ignoring my voice of intuition that had told me at the time that the relationship that I was in just wasn't serving me. Nothing good or bad, there's no bitterness, but I was ignoring the fact that I was just desperate to be loved. And I was putting everything else behind that. And that was the fear cycle I was in, because from my childhood, I won't go into the details of it, but from my childhood, I'm always just desperate to be loved by a man, okay? But it's always to my detriment. And so that was a huge fear cycle to realize. And what is the antidote to that fear cycle is like an avalanche of self-love, and actually saying, I'm not gonna be in a relationship with anyone now unless it is the literal devotion, that I need, that's serving me. So that's an example of a fear cycle, and how we can recognize them usually is when we feel stuck, when we feel like life is looping. And oftentimes a little red flag is that we seem to be ignoring it repeatedly. So we feel stuck, but then we're like, oh, but it's okay. It's a phase. So it's interesting. So it's something to think about. But they are these fear cycles, and with trauma, I would say the difference is you get triggered quite easily with trauma. So it's always like someone or something that makes you reactive in a certain way. Whereas fear cycles are more like a spider's web that we get stuck in, and it makes us feel stuck. So it's not so reactive. It's a little bit more subtle and under the surface. And really, in reality, it's stopping us from remembering ourselves when we were in that state of unconditional love, usually like up to about 7 years old. And it's stopping us from being back in that state because that's when we knew what we loved. That's when we knew our soul's mission. I don't personally really resonate with that phrase that much. I prefer things like life quest because I'm a bit of a fantasy geek. But you, again, you can choose your own words, but it's stopping us. All of these fear cycles, and there's probably multiple looping, but there usually is like one main one at a time, and it's stopping us from living out this person, this character that our inner child wants us to be. And I know, Poppy, you were there last month when we did the inner child healing, and that was like having a conversation with our inner child. And now it's like, okay, can we begin to figure out what cycle of fear we are stuck in and how we can break free, so then we can go back to that inner child and say, I'm ready for you now. Finally, and this is why you get people 60, 70 years old suddenly writing a novel and becoming famous. It's like they finally, for whatever reason, break out of that fear cycle. So, yeah, does anyone, you can just say like a yes or a no in the chat, and you don't have to go into details, but does anyone feel like they're stuck? It's somewhere in life at the moment, or has been. It's just interesting to see. Yeah, nice. And what's even more sneaky is that within the fear cycle, which is a loop, there can be cycles. So you can go through points of feeling really stuck and then being like, no, I'm just going to brush that away for a while and sort of pretending that it's okay, and then coming back into the stuckness. So that's again why I like the cycles, because it's you're breaking out of one currently. Nice. So we got two breakouts and then Lee, you recognize you're in a cycle. Yeah, it's great. And it's like it's liberating. It really is liberating to break free, because when we're in the cycle, it can feel so difficult to feel the state of what it is to not be in that cycle. And it's like for now, for me, now that I've broken free from it, I have had a few one-to-one healings to help me to break free from it. But what has happened now is that I'm literally just like remembering all of this stuff from my childhood that made me so excited and so happy. And it's like I'm just living as that person. So it's like a complete and utter transformation of embodiment. So it's quite profound. So we're going to do a couple of exercises. It's quite hard to do this in a group. So what we're going to do first is a little bit of a self-exploration, and then I'll do a card pull for each of you because we've got a small group, so it'll be really good. We'll have the time. Um, I've got these great cards which just have like really clean, clear, and concise messages, and I love working with them. So that will be awesome. So, does anyone have any questions before we do a little self-exploration? Is that an apple in front of you now, Poppy? You can just, it looks like an apple.
It's my peach moonstone.
Oh, nice.
I take it with me everywhere. Yeah.
It's like, that's a shiny apple. Let me just check so I didn't miss anything in the chat. Nice. Laughing face. Was that at the cycle within the cycle? Probably was. Cool. So we'll do a little bit of a self-exploration. So we're in this safe space, closing down your eyes once again, bringing your awareness back into that North Star of your heart. North Star is something that I really resonate with because it's like our heart is what connects our physical and our spiritual experience here in this human reality, in this earthly plane. And our heart is known as a stargate. Our heart is our North Star. Our heart, we can connect to our soul and our higher self. So for me, it really resonates to say North Star. But if you prefer to call your heart something else, that's totally fine. But connecting in there to that heart chakra, right in the center of the chest. And we're setting the intention for this little self-exploration. We're only going to be here 5 or 10 minutes, and we're setting the intention for each of us to be guided into our bodies. So we're actually going to ask here for a physical indication of a fear cycle. So this can help us explore where it is in the body, which then could take us deeper to what it may be related to. So it's quite a grounding way of coming into the fear cycle rather than going straight back to childhood traumas. It's step by step, feeling it in the body first. So if you have any guides who you are familiar with, or any animal guides or animal spirits that you want to call forth and assist you with that, feel free to do so. Otherwise, you can just say, I'm inviting in one of my guides. It doesn't matter if you're familiar with them or not, but it's really nice for us to ask for the assistance of the spirit team that we have around us. We may not always be able to sense them with our human eye, but we can most certainly tap into their felt sense of energy when we practice and when we really put our heart to it. And inviting all of our higher selves to step forwards as well. And I want us to all imagine that we are sitting together in a forest somewhere, and we're sitting around a campfire. So make it nice and cozy. All four of us are sitting in a circle, and then whoever is joining the recording of this, you're sitting around the campfire with us too, and we've got our higher selves and our guides. You can choose where they're sitting. And when we set up the safe space, we connected a spark of light from our hearts up into the one true source. So we're now going to call upon that light from source. And imagine that you're pulling down this waterfall of cascading light, and you're holding it above your head. And we're going to set the intention that as we gently wash this light from source down from our heads, all the way down, not only through our energy centers, our chakras, but down our entire being, so that it may act like a spotlight and help us to see, feel, understand, or get some kind of sign or message of where we may be experiencing our most significant fear cycle at the moment. So you can either do this physically with your hands, or you can just imagine that you're drawing this light down now. And we're going to wash it down over our heads, like a waterfall cascading through the body and around the body. Allowing yourself to be opened up to fill with this divinely loving light from source, all the way down to the palm of your hands and all the way down out to the soles of your feet. And take a few deep breaths, breathing in this light. And bringing your awareness back to us sitting together in the forest around the campfire, like we're doing this together in person in a workshop. And I want you to say to yourself internally, asking for assistance from your guide who's chosen to assist you, and from your higher self. Say, please, can you show me a sign or a signal in my body or in one of my energy centers which represents or can guide me towards the main fear cycle that I'm currently in at the moment. And know that we all receive and experience signs in completely different ways. For some of you, you might get a sudden sharp shooting pain somewhere. It might be a dull ache that you start to recognize. It could be tingling. It could be a sudden rush of heat. Could feel like a ball of energy suddenly somewhere within you. Some of you may be a lot more visual here. You may see images, notice the colours. Some of you may hear sounds, words, messages even whispered to you. So I just want you to take a few moments now of silence to open yourself up to the experience, and whatever you receive, how seemingly small or big, please don't doubt yourself. Your intuition is, again, connected to your North Star. Your intuition is your own gold. You could ask your guide to place a hand over the part of you, or ask them to show you a sign or a signal, asking that it be clear and simple. And taking a mental snapshot of whatever it is that you experience. Don't worry if it doesn't make sense. Just taking in any of the messages or sensations. Thanking your guide and your higher self. And taking a breath so you can come back into this physical plane, feeling yourself sitting on your chair or laying in your bed, wherever you are. Remembering what sensations or messages or images came up. And you can stay here for as long as you want, but when you feel ready, you can begin to open your eyes. And I just invite you to share what you experienced in the chat. And just while you're typing and coming back, I can share that I still felt it in my heart. It's like this, for me, it was like this real tight stab in the back of my heart, and that's the receiving gate of the heart. So the sign that I got is that I've closed off my heart now. So I need to work on actually opening that up so I can really just be this open beacon to give and receive love. Yeah, I loved that movement you did, Poppy. It was just that flow. Yeah. Poppy said, my womb, yoni. Yeah, do you want to explain a bit more? Was it a sensation? Was it a word, a colour, an image?
Can I just say it?
Yeah, sure, if you're
Yeah,
happy to.
yeah. It was like a stabbing pain. I'm currently bleeding, but I haven't
Mhm.
had cramps. But it was right in my like a burning in my lower back, and then like just a very deep, like different to a cramp, like a just a I'm
Mhm.
here, and I'm like
Yeah.
okay, and I know exactly what it means. So
Okay.
it's just interesting where it did.
So it's just confirming your intuitive nudges already. Yeah. And then Lee, you said your right arm was twitching. Ooh, that's interesting. So the arms are connected to the heart as well, and our right hand side tends to be when we're masculine dominant. And by that I mean like quite action driven, or we're sort of trying to control things, and not so much in that feminine flow. So that's interesting. Yeah, it's definitely the heart. And Ivalani heart as well. Yeah, our poor hearts. Our poor hearts take the brunt. And really, you know, when we go back to what I was saying at the beginning, if fear is the opposite to love, it's always going to come back to the heart when we really want to break free from fear. But yeah, heart, generally speaking, is usually related to something that happened in childhood, and it's very often like a mother-father dynamic from childhood. That is like, I would say 9 out of 10 times what this heaviness in the heart is and what the sort of fear cycles and loops are around the heart, especially with the relationships that we have, even with friends, doesn't have to be romantic ones. It's usually these cycles of fear that have got into our heart and we're scared of letting in or scared of what people think of us and scared of being ourselves and until we get so tangled up in this web that yeah, it becomes heavy. Yeah, and Poppy, you said you already know about your womb as well. Again, that's like a suppressed emotion, emotional trauma, generally speaking. Sometimes when we feel it in our womb, it could be because we're suppressing a creative talent or a creative ability as well. Yeah, so it's interesting. And I mean, you've all got this little starting point now, so it's something you can think about and something you can explore further. It's such a deep topic, but it can really be life-changing breaking out of these. And it's almost like a light bulb moment when you realize it and you're like, oh, okay. There's usually a few action steps that you have to take, which is the hard part. And then, the integration can get a bit more fun after that. So what I'll do now is I'll do a little reading as there's a small group of us, which is fun. I haven't done a reading on, I don't think I've done a reading on one of these workshops yet. And whenever I work with clients one-to-one, I pretty much always start with a reading. So what we will do is, actually, if any of you have your own specific question, you can, but the question otherwise that I will ask is, please can you give Poppy, Ivalani, and Lee crystal clear guidance of any healing, clearing, activating, or action steps they need to take towards recognizing and breaking free from this current fear cycle that is trying to present itself to them. Does that sound good? Okay, cool. Mhm. So what I'll do is I'm just going to start with who I see on the screen and then go around clockwise. So I'll start with you, Poppy. And what I'm going to do is for each round, I'm going to speak out that intention again, and then I'll keep shuffling. And whenever you want me to stop the deck, you unmute and say stop. Okay? Sound good? Cool. Okay, so calling upon the Lightworker Oracle by the fabulous Alana Fairchild. Please, can you give a clear and concise message for Poppy of any healing, clearing, activating, guidance, or action steps that are in service of her highest good that will help to signal what she needs to do now or what she needs to work towards in order to break free from this current fear cycle, from this space and this ceremony, the one that is presenting itself. Thank you. Okay, Poppy, whenever you want me to stop the deck, I will.
Stop.
Okay. What I do is I pull 2 cards, and then if we need more clarity, I'll pull another one.
Mhm.
So yours is Earth Healing. That's number
Mm.
1. Yeah. There is an angel as well, but what the card is and what I'm getting from this card, it's really cute actually. So it's a child sitting. They're sitting on the earth, like they're surrounded by loads of trees. And because they're in this earth healing, there's this guide and this angel and this messenger coming down and handing them a scroll. So it's like
Okay.
you're going to receive this higher guidance that you need through the earth healing. And then the second card that you got, so these are like, this is called, I call it like a step reading. So you got the earth healing, and then once you do the earth healing, you're going to have an initiation by air, which is a huge heart activation. And the photo is this person sitting on the on like, it looks like the Rocky Mountains actually in the States, and they're standing right on the cliff's edge with their arms open and their heart exploding. Like literally that movement that you did, funnily enough, it's like that. It's just like this explosion of light into the heavens. But
Okay,
you need to go
awesome.
to the earth first because that's going to
Yeah.
ground you and that's going to give you the messages that you need.
Oh, this is so cool because everything's clicking. Everything is. This is no. I'll talk about it at the end. This is
Do
intense.
you need another card to clarify, or is that good for
No,
you?
I
No?
don't think so. No.
Amazing.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Ivalani, you will go next. Let me just What I'll do is I will just take photos because I'm going to put the cards back into the deck. Okay. Mhm. Calling upon the Oracle of Light by the fabulous Alana Fairchild. We are now seeking crystal clear messages and guidance for Ivalani for any healing, clearing, activating, guidance, or action steps that she can take to help her to break free from this current fear cycle that is wanting to come through, or perhaps the one that she is already aware of, whatever is the most dominant in her life right now. Please give us crystal clear messages. Thank you. Whenever you're ready, Ivalani, you can unmute and I will stop.
Stop.
Interesting. Oh wow. Wow. Okay. Well, that's so interesting. You got grounding as well. Different to earth healing. This one is literally like a woman who she's actually naked in this picture, but and she's literally like bowing down in prayer with her hands and her third eye on the earth, like the most grounded of all groundedness that you could be, like laying in prayer on the earth, all, parts of her skin touching the earth. And it's from her third eye and her hands, these like roots are going all the way down into the earth. And there's like this ancient symbol in the earth, but it's saying you need some grounding, basically, as the first step. And then after that, it's family of light. So if you are really, really grounded and really connect to grounding yourself into the earth, and I'm just really getting this message of like grounding in the place of your own inner stability and sense of calm as well. It's almost like getting that from the earth and taking that groundedness within you. And from that, you're going to come to family of lights. You're going to start really connecting in with your guides. And that's what's going to open up that higher consciousness. And in the family of lights, you're sitting there and you've got this rainbow aura coming out of you. And then there's three guides there protecting you. So there's two either side and one above. This amazing like golden light, but you got to ground. you gotta you gotta get yourself in a state of calm and groundedness, and perhaps
Perfect.
shifting some things around. Would you
Thank
like
you.
another
That's perfect.
card?
Um, I was gonna say no, but why not? Let's go for one more card.
Okay,
Let's
cool,
do it.
we've got the time.
Yeah. I love what you said. Yes, I agree on the grounding. I need to
Mhm.
uh, take it further.
Yeah, and it's like from the image of the grounding, it's like devotional grounding, it's like I'm actually going to make a difference in my life to feel really rooted and calm in myself. That's the real strong message I'm getting.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
Very fitting.
Mhm. So please, can we get some more clarity on the grounding and on the family of light? Just some more clarity to bring these two together. Whenever you're ready again, Ivalani, you can tell me to stop.
Stop.
Okay. Okay. So the clarity is, it's called Eternal Now. So the grounding and that stability is going to help you to be in the present moment. So that's what you're being called for, like real present moment awareness, which I know how hard that is in modern life. But that is the way. And he's like, he's got one hand on his heart and he's blowing out these prayers. So it's like you're going to connect into that voice of your heart, which is going to help you connect out and have that rainbow aura to really connect out to your guides. But it's the grounding first, because you've got to have this like stable foundation. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Right, let me take a picture of this. Lee, are you able to unmute? Because if not, you can tell me when to stop in the chat. Oh yeah, you've unmuted.
Is this worked? Can
Yeah.
you hear me? Yep.
Yeah, I can hear you. Cool. All right then. So, calling upon the Light Oracle by the wonderful Alana Fairchild, we are now calling upon divine guidance for Lee. Please, can you assist her with a crystal clear message, steps, guidance, healing, clearing, or activation that is needed for her, that will assist her in breaking free from this fear cycle, the one that wants to present itself to her currently. Please, can the messages be clear and concise and easy to understand? Okay, whenever you're ready, you can say stop, no rush.
Stop.
Okay. Ooh, that's really interesting. Okay. Remember what I was saying about the right arm and the masculine?
Mm-hmm.
So your first step is the pink rose, and that is the path of the divine feminine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Very strange.
Yep. So that's the pink rose. So it's literally like the path of the divine feminine, but that can also be connecting to beauty and like buying yourself flowers and roses, and doing some really beautiful, loving things.
Okay.
And then the next one is Master Hilarion and Archangel Raphael. So that's a healing sign.
Mm-hmm.
So coming into the divine feminine, and then you're going to have this beautiful healing. And it's like, it's this walking into the most beautiful garden.
Yeah.
So tapping into the divine feminine and honoring the divine feminine. And maybe you want to look into the path of the rose, the Mary Magdalene, things like that. That is going to change your life, and it's going to change what is around you. It's literally like opening these gates into this brand new place. It's full of all of these tropical flowers, and it's just like coming into that rose in your heart is going to be like this big breath of fresh air, and everything around you can change.
Yep.
So the fear cycle, I don't know this, obviously I'm just tapping into intuition again. You can take what you will from this, but it feels like, yeah, there's this cycle of sort of protecting yourself and being more in the masculine. So the way to break free from that is recognizing it, and then go more into the softer feminine side, and know that it's actually just as strong to be in that feminine flow and really honor and hold yourself in that beauty. Is just as strong as taking action.
Okay.
Do you want another card, or does that make sense? We
No,
could.
that makes sense.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Just take a picture. And then I'm going to pull a couple more cards for the collective as well, because this will be for anyone who watches this recording and for anyone who stumbles upon this video on YouTube. Hopefully some people do. And hopefully you enjoy. So, calling upon the Oracle of Light by the wonderful, fabulous Alana Fairchild. So I'm calling in 2 step cards now for the collective. So any souls who are watching the recording of this, please can you give 2 steps that will help them on their healing journey, help them to either recognize a fear cycle if they haven't already, or if they are breaking free, what will help them to break free from their fear cycle? That was a tongue twister. Maybe it's healing, clearing, guidance, or action steps. Calling for 2 cards. Please, can you present them from the deck now? Thank you. Interesting. So the 2 cards are Life Path and then Master Healing. And that is literally what I said about the soul's mission. I didn't like that word, but it's about the life's path. And on the photo of the card, it's babies. It's babies. So it's reconnecting you back into that state where you are living in love. What did you love doing? What tickled your fancy? You know, what was your cup of tea? What made you laugh? What made you smile? How did you like dressing up, you know, when you were young? Connecting into that, because that is your life's path. That is your life's path, is what you loved doing as a child. Yeah. And when you start living that and embodying that in the now and letting go of the shame and the guilt of that, and people, and you know, that voice in your head saying, oh, it's childish, all of that rubbish, that's when the master healing takes place. And the master healing is like this wise woman with this huge North Star, a literal North Star on her heart, and she's holding this big old book which kind of looks like the Akashic records, and then her head is just open and all of these stars and planets and stuff are exploding out. I'll see if I can get it in the camera. You can sort of see it. So that is really the collective for all of us here, right? That is the message of breaking free from the fear cycles. What is the point of it? To rediscover our life path so that then we can ascend towards that master healing and that real expansion of how amazing life is as a human, but also how amazing it is that there's so much beyond that we forget about, that we are aware of, but we may have forgotten in this incarnation. And it's about getting back to that life path of when you were a child, what lights you up and what excites you. And it's like re-downloading that blueprint, because that's the only way that we will get ourselves back into that state of blissful love. Yeah. And that's what, when you read all of these old ancient traditional spiritual teachings, most of them talk about love, unconditional love. That's the root of it, and that is our primal state of being. And that is the whole point of this, breaking free from the fear cycles so that we can come back into love. And it doesn't mean that struggles aren't going to come our way, but it means that we can recognize them more quickly and learn how to break free from them. So I hope that was helpful. I feel like those 2 cards definitely don't need a third one. It's just straight up with those. Anything else to say about fear cycles? It's something that I feel like I've been doing my whole life, because someone asked me this. I think it was John, actually. I know, Ivalani, I know you know John. He was asking me like, God, how do you just so fearlessly break free from fear cycles? I'm like, do you know what? I think I've just been doing it my whole life. And I told him the backstory of my growing up and stuff. And it's something that I think I've been doing most of my life, recognizing these fear cycles and breaking myself out of them. So I do feel like it's a part of my mission here. And the more that I break free from them, the more that I'm able to help others, because they'll see me and they'll be like, what pill has Chloe taken? I want that. And it just brings you just back into more of a place of fun and silliness and lightness. And I think that's like, for me, is such a part of being human as well. Coming back to that childlike sense of joy where everything is silly and interesting and wonderful and curious. And that's really what I'm getting with the life path as well. Really just coming back to that childlike essence. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions in the chat? What I'll do is I will close off the session in a moment, collectively. And then if you want to actually talk and don't want to be on the camera, I'll stop off the recording and we can just have a chat quickly before we go. But if you've got any questions that you want me to answer in the chat, feel free. If you're just like, what is going on? And your head has just exploded, that's fine too. If you're pondering the very existence of life itself, welcome to my world 7 days a week.
I do have a question. I will speak afterwards when when you end the recording.
Yeah.
But where it comes to connecting to the element of air, what is the best way to do that?
Yeah.
I suppose it depends. Crystals, herbs, nature, like it's all. I don't really know where to start with that part of it. So any kind of idea would be very helpful.
What I would say first of all is that the earth healing is going to tell you that.
Yeah, it kind of has, but okay. I'll explain afterwards. Okay. Cool. Okay.
But that's why it's the steps. It's like that's the step to the initiation by the air. But what I will say is like you're going to be rising up from the ground and into the heart. So you will be getting these like lessons and stuff from the earth that will be telling you, but it's coming. Initiation by air is the heart. It's the element of the heart. So anything with breathing, that's obvious, the obvious thing is like deep breathing, but being out in really open, clean spaces where you can breathe. I went into the forest today and I was just doing breath work and suddenly like I just started singing out of nowhere. Things like that where you can open yourself up to the air coming in and things like that. I would say that's the best. But also if there's any animals that fly, think about what does the air element mean to you? It could be airy fairy, it could be silly things, it could be like going and doing an improv class, all kinds of different things. Yeah, but you should get those messages from the earth of what you need because your intuition knows. Yeah, and you're probably choosing to be like, no, I don't want to do that, or be like, yeah, I want to do that because I prefer that. But sometimes that isn't always in our favor. Sometimes we need to go for the things that feel a bit uncomfortable. I hope that helps. Okay. Oh, you're so welcome, Lee. It was lovely. Thank you for joining. And I will send an email about this as well. And what I'll do is in a moment is close down the space. But yeah, thank you so much for joining. Also, I did want to say that I do a Fear Cycles 1-to-1. It's like a ritual where we'll do more in-depth reading. We'll go deep into a journey and actually speak to your guides and get messages of your life path and the fear cycle you're in and do a full clearing and breaking free ritual. So that is an offering I have, and I will offer you 15% off for those who are joining this video. So I'll send you a little email about that. If you really resonate with this and you feel like, yeah, I want to dive in deep, then I'll be like, yes, let's do it. And the next workshop, I'm going to skip August because August is just like crazy social times for me. And then what I'm going to do is do it the first weekend of September, the first Sunday, and I will do my very best to just then make it the first Sunday of every month. Keep it nice and simple because it's been a bit scattered since I've started. So yeah, I believe that's the 6th of September. And then it will be the first Sunday of every month. So if you have some friends you want to invite, please let them know. This will always be free. I really enjoy doing these workshops. So yeah, perfect. Well, thank you so much for joining. I'm just going to close down the space and then I'll stop the recording. So just coming back to a nice tall seated position, maybe just give your arms a shake, like shake out all of that energy. It can get a bit heavy and a bit deep when we're talking about fear and childhood and all of that stuff. And when we sort of open and expand ourselves to some of these deeper spiritual ideas and philosophies. So just shake it out, take a deep breath, let it all out. And I'm just going to take the session bubble, asking all guides, spirits, and beings who are inside the session bubble to now step out so I can bring the session protective energy bubble down to size in my hands, and with it, taking away any unwanted energetic attachments or cords that are not in service of our highest good, bringing it all the way down, and then I'm going to send it back to source or for it to never return here again. And I just want to take a moment to thank every single soul who has participated here live and those who join the recording. Wherever this lands you and finds you, I hope that you feel supported and loved through these topics. I'm here if you ever need to reach out. And thanking our guides, our higher selves, all of the guides, spirits and beings who are here to help guide and support us today. Thanking the beautiful oracle cards, the artwork and the channelings of Alana Fairchild. And thank you to all of our hearts for connecting here in this space today. Thanking the one true source, thanking Mother Earth. And this ceremony is officially closed. Namaste. Okay, I'll stop the recording.